Good morning, afternoon, or evening, dear yogis. This is Echo, and welcome to this beautiful practice today. I'm in a good friend of mine's house in Belgium. I cannot say the town. I think it's Douarn, Belgium. And we have such a beautiful little space here to practice. I'm super excited to share this space with you and our lovely cat guest that I'm sure is going to enter the frame at some point. So we'll be doing cat yoga today. Yeah? All right, so today's practice is inspired by really working with physical pain that comes into the body and listening to intuitively what's happening in your body when you have pain. And this is inspired by my own pain that I'm having in my right shoulder that's moving down the back line. And I know that this is pretty common for many human bodies. So today it will be a full body practice, a short full body practice, but we'll be focusing on the back line specifically to release any tension here. And the reason that I want to do this practice is because I feel like for most of us, when we have pain, we might tend to want to do nothing about it or distract ourselves with maybe different kind of medications that can numb out the pain or different ways to distract ourselves from even looking deeper into the pain. And I invite you, if you have the pain, to kind of follow it on a treasure hunt to see if you can find the roots of what's happening in your body, and you can breathe into it and you can be with it instead of labeling it as negative or bad and simply just allowing it to be. And I know for myself, when I allow it, then it tends to pass through more quickly. And this is a pain that I've had for a few years that used to be in my glute that has now traveled up my back. And my way of thinking about it is that it's ascending and it's moving out of my body. But I do think that our pain, it does travel through the body. And so I really encourage you, if you have something that's been chronic, that's been with you for quite some time, instead of just saying, this is what I have and this is a part of me, instead exploring what's happening in your body. Are there imbalances? Where are you not really focusing your attention? And what can we do to release that pain? So that being said, let's sit up nice and tall. Shut the eyes down. And relax the muscles in the face. It's relaxing the brow, the cheeks. And you can even allow the lips to be slightly parted. And let your belly loose. For many of us, there's a lot of tension here to be flat, to be more rigid, but just let it bulb open. And let your breath be deep. Let it stem from just below the navel and let it move all the way up, opening the chest. And let it be nice and slow, moving in and out of the nostrils, looking for that ocean-like sound. And just allowing the body to arrive. Allowing the breath to arrive in the body. Relax the shoulders. Relax the hips. And a big part of being able to follow our aches and pains is to simply be present with what is. So notice if there are any contractions or tensions in the body. And also even anxiety, this thing that we call anxiety, it can feel like this buzz of electricity just beneath the surface of the body. Notice if you feel a tremble, if there's any added energy. And send your exhalations throughout the body to find more grounding, more stillness. Let's take an inhale, stretch the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center, and let this be nice and slow. And this practice is about slowing down. So again, inhale, sweep up. Exhale to the heart. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale to the heart, staying here, bowing the head just lightly. Find an intention for your practice. So what do you want to be with today? How do you want to show up? Maybe consciously choose to let the thoughts in the mind of what you need to do after this or do what you should have done before, let that go. Just be here, simply, softly. And let us begin the physical practice of yoga. You can open the eyes, inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring hands to the back of the head, clasp them, open the chest, press the head back into the hands, shoulder blades down your back. So knowing that we're working with the back line today, really focus on how you show up in the back of your body. So really relax the shoulders down the back, strengthen the lower back, round the hips. And we want to move very intentionally. Even if you don't have pain in the back or there's no tension here, treat it as if you are just finely tuning every movement in the back, caring for everything. Take an inhale. Exhale, slowly round the back, chin to chest, elbows in. Inhale, open the chest, slide the shoulder blades down the back, open the heart. Exhale, round in. Slowly inhale, open. And exhale, close. Really pay attention to every way that the muscles are moving together here. Inhale brings you to open. Exhale pulls you in. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Come back to center. Inhale, both arms up. Bend the right elbow, place the right hand between the shoulder blades, and bring the left hand to the lower back and maybe taking a hold of the fingers. This might be really challenging for some of us. If so, just take a hold of your shirt. You can't see my hands here. Or grab a towel between the hands, and this will give you a bit more space if you can't reach your fingertips. And I encourage, if you're struggling at home, pause the video, get the tools that you need. Don't force yourself into the position, because this can do more harm in our yoga practice than help. And really plug the left shoulder blade down, even the right. We want to make sure that we're not pulling our bones out of their joints. Slight opening of the heart space. Take an inhale. And exhale, slowly fold forward, curling in just a bit to your edge. And you'll know when it's your edge. You might feel a bit of opening between the shoulder blades into the rhomboids, the trapezius. A bit more opening in the left shoulder, the tricep. Let's come back up, neutral, and reach both arms up. Left hand between the shoulder blades, right hand to the lower back. Maybe you grab fingertips, t-shirt, or towel. For me, this side is much more challenging because I have scoliosis on my right side. So you'll notice the imbalances in your body. Make sure that you're compensating for that. So if you need a prop on one side and not the other, that's perfectly fine. Keep the spine long, shoulder blades moving down the back. Take an inhale. Exhale, fold in lightly, and I can't fold in too much here. So I encourage, if you are trying to push yourself on one side because another side gives you that freedom, be kind to yourself. We don't want to force in our yoga practice. A lot of practices will show you the perfect way to do a pose. You have really flexible yogis doing it a certain way. I encourage you to be your own leader and not try to do it like me or anyone else. Do it for your own body. Let's take an inhale, stretch the arms up, and shake them down. Can kind of shake them back and forth, especially in the joints. You might need to take some elbow circles here. So when we're moving into the ball and socket, there might be some tension, and maybe you need to pause in a certain space. You can move in different directions. And this is a space to be curious. Maybe there's one spot that needs a little bit of attention. Pause there. Move in the opposite direction on the other side. And let's come back to neutral. Take an inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, turn to the right, left hand on the right knee, right hand behind you, twist from the belly. So now we're getting into the core, into the spiral line. And when we work with the spiral line, especially in the core, you can think of it as like an energetic ringing out. All the different energetic lines come through the midline. So if there's any tension in the back line, doing these twists, even though it might not seem like it's getting to the target area, can create a bit more spaciousness in the lateral lines in the back line. So it's important when we're having pain in one specific pointed area of the body that we don't just focus on overstretching that space, but we're doing a full body opening so that we can get spaciousness from other areas. Let's take an inhale, stretch both arms up. Exhale, twist to the left. And make sure the twist comes from the belly, not the neck. So we're not cranking the neck back behind us. This is nice and soft for the neck. Let's come back through center. Hands on the knees. Take an inhale and drop the chest towards the right knee. Elbows kind of come up. Move through center to the left and just find some circles. So we call these Sufi circles. You can dip the elbow down. So kind of like you're just a cat, like a prey, moving in the space. And you don't have to go so low as me. I want you to find what feels best for you. And you can kind of use the palms to knead the dough of the thighs, moving up and down the thighs. And if you find an area that feels really sensitive, maybe you pause there for a moment and breathe. And when it feels good, move in the opposite direction. Sounding is always welcome. So if you need to om or hum to release tension on the exhalation, this can feel really cathartic. Let's come back through center. Beautiful. And come on to all fours, tabletop position. Take an inhale, let the belly drop, open the chest, look forward. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. Give a little wiggle. Inhale, belly drops, look forward. Exhale, round the spine. And if there's a lot of back pain in your back, you might not be able to round a lot. That's perfectly fine. Take an inhale, belly drops, look forward. Make sure you're modifying to your kind of capacity. Exhale, rounding. Let's take a few rounds on our own. Move nice and slow. And if there is back pain, don't go further than your edges. It's really important for you to learn where your boundaries are in pain so that we don't exasperate the pain. Come back to neutral. Walk the hands forward. Dip the chest down, forehead to the earth. And Ahatasana, heart-melting pose. Stretching out the front of the arm line, the chest, the heart space. Keep the hips nice and high over the knees. And slowly come forward onto the belly. Elbows underneath the shoulders. Keep the chest open and use the palms to pull the chest forward, releasing the lower back. Nice and long through the spine, look forward. And if you've got a lot of neck pain here, you might need to look slightly down. So depending on where the pain is in your upper or lower back. Find the focal point that releases some of that tension. Slowly bring the chest down just a little bit. Keep the elbows off the ground and press into the pelvic floor. And we're using the lower back here, so we're strengthening the lower back. Keep the elbows pulling in by the sides, and then maybe bring the feet up as well. So this practice is really good for strengthening the lower back. Sometimes we have pain in our back because there's not a lot of muscle there. So we're creating some musculature. We want to take 5 breaths here. And slowly come down. Stretch the right arm out to the right side. And then bring the head down to the ground, bend the left knee, and place the left foot down behind you. So we're coming into what is called broken wing pose, even though I don't like to use the word broken. We can call it open wing pose. And we're getting into the right tricep, creating some space in the lateral line, the arm lines. And just a few more breaths here. Come back to center. Stretch the left arm out to the left side, left cheek to the mat. Stack the right hip on top of the left, bend the right knee, place the right foot down behind you this time. Opening up here now to the right side. And again, just creating some space in the arm lines. And slowly back through center. Bring both arms alongside the body, right cheek to the mat. Take a breath. And feel the earth beneath you, supporting you. And we're slowly rolling onto our backs. We want to make sure we have a block nearby. If you don't have a block, encyclopedia, or I've had people say Harry Potter books, this is a more modern reference. Anything that you have in your house that can be used with some compression. We're going to bend the knees, lift the hips, and bring the block right underneath the hips. So kind of where your belt line would be. And we want to feel that compression in the lower back, arms alongside the body. And this can be so helpful to release any tension in the lower lumbar. For many of us, if we have backline pain, it could be in the piriformis here. And this, when we think about it, our hips are this major folding point for the body. So when we fold in on ourselves, when we surrender, this midline here, it's so important. And when we do it quickly or habitually in an imbalanced way, it can create a lot of disharmony in the physical body. So right now we're supporting this pressure into the lower back, releasing any stuck or stagnant energy. It might feel good to straighten the legs. It might feel good to straighten the arms back behind you, and it might not. So if it feels better to keep the knees bent, go for it. If it feels good to straighten out, go for it. I've got a beautiful view of the sun shining through the roof. And even if you're feeling discomfort right now, especially if you're specifically here because there is back pain, I encourage you, even in certain postures, if you can't do them, you just lay down. You lay down in Shavasana or Child's Pose. You do what feels best for you. And in those moments when you're allowing yourself to feel the pain, also find something to be grateful for. So even now, with some pain in my back line, I can appreciate that the sun is shining on me, that I'm in this beautiful space, safe to do my yoga practice, that I'm warm, and that I have the whole day ahead of me. For you, it can be different. And slowly bend the knees, bring the hands back alongside the body. Lift the hips, bring them down, remove the block, and pull the knees into your chest. Let's rock from side to side. Bring the feet back down. Take your block, and this time you're going to lift the head. Bring the block right behind the head, underneath it. And you want the edge of the block to be at the edge of the occiput, so that little ridge at the back of your head. Some of us have, more linear ones. Some of us have more round. But that little ledge at the back of the neck. And for me, I'm going to have my block a little bit at an angle, so I have to hold it. And we're just going to move from side to side. Head moving from side to side. And you will feel this in the occiput, that little shelf at the back of your head. And for some of us, this carries so much tension, so maybe you need to pause in certain spots. Continue to breathe in and out of the nostrils. Sphinxy, come here. I've been wanting the cat to come play with me the whole time. Now that I'm on video, she's getting camera shy because every time I practice yoga in here, she won't get off the yoga mat. So now she's being shy. All right, and slowly come to a stop. We're going to lift up a bit, bring the block between the shoulder blades. So this one can be a bit more intense. So I encourage you, if it's too challenging for you, to use pillows, use a couch cushion, and just let it be very relaxing. If you really want to get in there, bring the block between the shoulder blades, slowly lower down, let the head drop down to the ground, or you can even bring your head onto a pillow if that feels better for you. Keep the knees bent, feet planted, arms out to the side. And this can be super relieving to open the heart space. You might hear some cracks and gulls in the chest as we open space in the rib cage, and we create some compression here in the upper spine. And again, sometimes we just have stagnant energy, especially if we feel that we hunch forward, so the shoulders rotate inwardly and our head kind of hangs forward. This can be a beautiful posture to open up our spine a bit more, to sit up taller, to create more space and length in our back line. So if you're somebody that knows that you hunch, or you sit at a computer all day, or you drive all day, I would really encourage you to do this posture every day for at least 5 minutes, making it some way comfortable for you so that you'll actually do it. And slowly make our way up, come to a seat, sitting up nice and tall. Take a moment to land, hands resting on the knees, close the eyes, And just notice if you feel any energy moving in the body, any more spaciousness, any more spaciousness in the mind and breath. Sneezes. And our practices, no matter whether they're 5 minutes or 10 minutes, 20, an hour, 2 hours, there should always be this moment at the end of reflection on what feels differently, where is there more space, where is there maybe less. We become the observers of our own physical experience so that we can begin to trace what's happening in our bodies. This is how we begin to master knowing ourselves and our pain, all the sensations. And take a last moment to place a hand somewhere on the body that feels a little tender. You can give it a little rub. And find some stillness there, just holding. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And an intention here, whatever it may be personally for you, but my intention for myself, my invitation for you is that we take time each day to slow down, to tune in, to learn to move fast, but at a slow pace, so we can still be productive, we can still play and do all the things, create, consume in many ways, but also really slow down in that fastness. Listen to our breath, listen to our body. And even if it's just for a minute or 2 or 3 or 4, however many, complete presence and stillness and softness in those spaces. Hands together at heart, bowing head to heart. The seeker in me that desires peace and gracefulness and pain-free sensation in the body welcomes in all sensations, all polarities, all parts of the path. Many blessings to you on your own journey. Namaste, dear yogis. Bowing to Pachamama, we say gracias for our practice, for our moments with self. And take care.